Hey guys, GamerJlee here, and I just wanted to say this video is gonna get a little bit heated, and one thing that I'm gonna say is that some people understand PC specs. I understand PC specs, I understand PC optimization, and here's the thing. I have given Microsoft and 343 Industries the benefit of a doubt many times. And I'm almost to the point where I'm done. I'm almost being kind of a realist when it comes to this. And maybe I'm getting a little too worried about this, but here's the thing. I've been playing on PC since 2012 whenever I got my first gaming rig, which had 16 gigabytes of RAM, and it had, a GTX 770, an Intel Core i7, I think it was a 4770K or something like that. It was a good rig. And the thing is that I know about PC optimization and good PC optimization versus bad PC optimization. Now, I'm going to be talking about basically the specs for Halo 5 Forge on PC, as well as what most games are having for recommended settings. Now let's go through each of the setting requirements for Halo 5 Forge. Now for minimum specs, they recommend you have Windows 10 Anniversary Edition, which I'm not exactly sure what Windows 10 Anniversary Edition is. I don't know if that's just the free version that you get, or I don't know. But Windows 10 Anniversary Edition, okay, so Windows 10, got it. Okay, you need to have DirectX 12 installed on your computer. Okay, a DirectX 12 game, that's awesome. Great to hear. For CPU, you need an Intel Core i5 at 2.3 gigahertz or a AMD equivalent. Okay, that sounds about average for minimum requirements. And then for a GPU, you need a GeForce 650 Ti. Okay, that sounds like a pretty basic graphics card. It's a good graphics card, but it's a pretty basic one. All right, with a VRAM, so the video card, just so you know, there's two different kinds of RAMs. There's video RAM and there's RAM as in your memory for your computer. This is video memory. So for your video RAM, you need 2 gigabytes for the minimum requirements. Okay, that is a 2 gigabyte card, which would be really well. Usually for this, I'm just gonna say this now, I would probably recommend having a card at the 700 series, maybe for minimum requirements. But hey, 650 Ti, that's perfectly fine. Even a 660 is a good card, just so you guys know. Alright, and then for RAM, it recommends 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, with a hard drive space of 40 gigabytes. Okay, so this is going to be a big boy installation for just being, just being Forge and maybe custom games for one to understand. But okay, 40 gigabytes, I've got the space for that. That's okay. I've got a 4 terabyte hard drive, so I think I can fit that. Now let's move on to recommended specs. Now this is for what it says right under it, 1080p at 60 FPS. Okay, so minimum requirements won't even get you 1080p 60 FPS. Okay. So for recommended, it recommends Windows 10 with DirectX 12 with an Intel Core, and now we get into more detail about which processor they recommend for the processor they recommend, which should be a i5 3570K at 3.4 gigahertz or AMD equivalent. So they want you to have an unlocked processor at a certain upping of 3.4 gigahertz, or if it's a standard clock of that, overclocking. If you guys don't know about overclocking, I recommend going to many other channels that are focused mostly on tech, to Lions Tech Tips, Jay's 2 cents, so on and so forth. Those guys would be very well into teaching you about that. Moving on from there, it recommends a GeForce GTX 970. Now, I have a lot of experience with this card since I had 2 of them in SLI, and here's the thing. For VRAM, it recommends 4 gigabytes. Just so you guys know, there's a current lawsuit going on, or a, I forget what the kind of lawsuit it's called, a class action. There we go, a class action lawsuit against NVIDIA about this problem with the 970, where the actual space on the graphics card is 3.5 gigabytes. The rest of the card is locked off. The 0.5 of that 4 gigabytes is locked off, and you can't access it. It is there, but it is locked off. So honestly, I would probably bump that up to a 980 or some sort of equivalent of maybe even AMD, but they're saying GeForce, they aren't saying an AMD equivalent with this. So I'm just gonna say go with the 970, or hey, here's even a better choice. A 480, I believe, is the recent card that's like $200 from AMD. I would probably recommend that. It probably would work out, but I can't really say much because they're only recommending GeForce NVIDIA cards. So moving on from there, we have the RAM, and this is where I have my concerns, and I'm gonna explain why. They recommend 12 gigabytes of RAM for the recommended. Okay, now I'm gonna go through some games here that I can run at 1080p 60 FPS with no problems, with just 8 gigs. Now I'm gonna go onto Steam, and I'm gonna pull up some games here. So let's go to Grand Theft Auto 5. How about that? Let's start off with Grand Theft Auto 5, a very popular game on PC. I'm gonna actually move my audio track over here so I can look at this as I am talking about this. But let's look at the RAM, recommended RAM for minimum versus recommended. So starting off with the minimum requirements, 4 gigabytes. Okay, Microsoft 343, your minimum requirement for this game is 8 gigabytes, where these is 4. This is GTA, a very demanding game on PC that has a lot of loading, a lot of generating, and it's only asking for 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now for recommended, which is what I'm comparing this to, it's a 4 gigabyte difference at 8 gigabytes. Okay, that's GTA. Okay, it's not the best detailed game on the market, it's not the best. Let's go to Witcher 3. How about that? Let's go to Witcher 3. Here we go. Let's look at the requirements for that bad boy. Going down here, we've got a number of different options. Oh, and its minimum amount of RAM it recommends is 6 gigs. Okay, a little bit more than GTA. It is a little bit more heavy on the details and so on and so forth. But for recommended, 8 gigs. Okay, so this has me beyond worried. And I know that a lot of Halo players do not know about PC specs and, basically optimization and so on and so forth, because some people have PCs that will run this, and a lot of us who are Halo YouTubers are content creators. We usually have about 16 to 32 gigs of RAM in our computers. I have 32 gigs. I'm sure that the equivalent of most other YouTubers have about 16 or something. They're not going to have any problems running this. But for the average consumer with the most basic gaming PC, most of them only have 8 gigs of RAM. Only 8 gigs. And they can't even get 1080p 60. And that's what's bugging me here, is that this has me worried that we're going to be following down the same track that we've been doing for the past couple of games that have been ported to PC. I'm talking Gears of War Ultimate Edition. I'm talking Quantum Break. I'm talking Rise of the Tomb Raider, which, I'm not talking about the Steam equivalent. I'm talking about the Microsoft, store equivalent of the game, which was an unoptimized piece of shit. Very bad. Very bad. And I just don't want this to happen. I don't want them to ruin it. This is literally their last chance. This is literally their last chance to make a good impact. And if they fuck it up, then I'm done. I'm going to be beyond done. Because, you know, players have been waiting for a long time for Halo to come back to PC. The last time we got a normal, like a main series Halo game on PC was Halo 2, and it was on Vista. Fucking Vista. One of the worst operating systems of all time. I think it is considered the worst operating system of all time. But, you know, at least it worked. At least it worked. And honestly, you know, God, this is just worrisome because I love Halo. You guys know this. And the reason why I'm criticizing this and I'm talking about this is because I care. Because I want more players to experience Halo and have a good time. Now, it is Halo 5. It is probably my least favorite Halo. But I'm saying this because I think it would be fun to have Halo on PC and be able to play it with my friends that have never experienced Halo, that have always been PC guys, and say, look, try this out, you know, enjoy it, and maybe they'll bring other, you know, games onto PC, which supposedly they're releasing a new app called the Halo app that's going to be, maybe future games will be released on PC. I don't know, but the main thing is that I'm worried because this recommended specs for 1080p 60 is not, you know, compared to Witcher and compared to, you know, GTA 5, and like, let me look through my library and see what demanding games I have on my library. Like, I'm gonna look through this real quick. Let me just like see right here. I'm gonna scroll up to the top and then go down. I'm gonna go down. You know, I'm trying to look at some demand. Dark Souls 3. I don't know if that has, like, that game's actually pretty well optimized on PC. Let's see if we can, you know, look up that game's, you know, RAM. Dark Souls 3. What is the recommended for that? The recommended is 8 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, let's go back again. Let's go back to the you know, my library of games that are awesome. Okay, let's look at Crysis 2. You know, Crysis games have always been very demanding. Let's go to the store page and let's scroll down. The recommended memory. What? Wait, what? Okay, it says 2 gigabytes. Okay, that was a very bad example. I'm not gonna lie, that was a very bad example if that is true, which I don't think that's right. Let's find another demanding game. Maybe Dishonored? Oh, Fallout 4. Let's look at Fallout 4. That game's pretty demanding. Let's see what the equivalent for that is for PC. It says here that the recommended amount of RAM is 8. So, guys, I think I've kind of proven my point with this, is that it's looking unoptimized, and it's looking like it's going to be an issue with this port to PC, and I really don't want it to be. I want them to succeed. I want this to be a hit where everyone enjoys it. I don't want to go on, you know, the next day after it's been released and everyone making videos, you know, all these gaming news sites saying it's a flop, that, you know, they fucked up, that, you know, and when they see that kind of stuff, they're never going to try again. We're going to end up just like they did with Halo 2 Vista, where after that they said, nah, we're not even going to worry about bringing Halo 3 or Halo 4 or Reach or any of those games to PC because we don't give a shit. Because, hey, you know, people didn't seem to like our ports to PC, so, hey, you know, and that's what's bugging me, is that I care about PC, I care about console, and I care about Halo. I'm not a PC master racist, you know, where I only will play PC games and so on and so forth. But, you know, it's optimization. It's basically for the basic consumer what they can run. And that's why I'm kind of being you know, overly talkative about this, is because I care about the, you know, standard consumer. Most standard consumers are going to only have about 8 gigabytes of RAM in their gaming PCs. Like if it's a standard gaming PC that was a pre-built, or if you built it yourself but you were going with cheaper, you know, amounts, yes, you will have the minimum. But the thing is you want to hit that recommended specs usually most of the time, and that's because it is usually the key factor for the most enjoyment, to hit that 1080p 60 fps, or maybe you can downscale the resolution down to 720p and still hit the 60 fps. But still, whenever you're seeing games like Witcher 3, you're seeing games like Grand Theft Auto 5, Dark Souls, so on and so forth, you know, only asking for 8 gigabytes of RAM and you're asking for 12 on a recommended, that's kind of worrying, because that's a whole 4 gigs of RAM that now we have to pull out of our ass for most modern day, you know, basic consumers. And that is why I'm speaking up about this and saying be cautious when it comes to Halo 5 Forge on PC. I will be doing some tests on this. I will be removing some of my RAM and testing how it runs from 8 gigs to 12 gigs to 16 gigs to so on and so forth, because my rig currently runs at 32 gigabytes of RAM, where most run to 8 to 16, because a lot, you know, 8 usually is for just gamers, 16 is for content creators, and 32 is for people who do content creating and some other crazy shit like I do. But, you know, I'm just gonna say this now: be cautious, and, you know, listen to reviewers you can trust, listen to people who know PC optimization, and listen to people who, you know, have been running games for a long time through PC and so on and so forth. Be cautious. That's all I'm gonna say. I will be doing a video about the about Halo 5 Forge on PC, and hopefully I'll be letting you guys know my experiences with it and so on and so forth, guys. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know it was pretty long, you know, a 16-minute little rant about a Halo 5 Forge on PC. I know I repeated myself quite a few times, but if you guys stuck through this entire video, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate your time listening to this little mumbling, jumbling video. And if you guys like this video, and if you guys, you know, want to, if you guys believe what I'm saying, go ahead and slap a like on it. It would make me feel great to see that like bar go up, and, you know, let me know that my message got across clearly to you guys. If you guys need any more explanation, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to reply to your comment and let you know what I mean or how to explain it better to you guys. So yeah, go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. And if you think I'm being a skeptical douchebag and that I don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and slap a dislike on the video. It won't hurt me. It won't hurt. But, you know, down in the comments below, explain why I'm being a skeptical douchebag and that I'm worrying too much, or that I'm wrong. Let me know down in the comments below, because like I said, guys, I need to know if I'm right or if I'm wrong. You know, I want to know what you guys really think, because your guys' opinions matter to me. I, you know, showed that in my past videos when I was talking about, you know, the whole can we bring back Halo and can we fix Halo, and your guys' opinions matter to me. I even had a conversation with a gentleman about the bow rifle, and we had a good long discussion, which like was a back and forth argument about it. But hey, it was a good discussion, and, you know, I think we both got our points across in those comments of that video. But let me know, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Tomorrow I will be talking about the preview of the new Anvil's Legacy that will be coming up tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the next video. So thank you guys, and as always, GamerJlee signing out.